Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, the Manga Man here, and today we're talking about solo leveling 149. Last week, for whatever reason, I got that completely wrong. It is in the hundreds, not the 200s. I could have played it off like, oh no, it's season 2 and there's been so many chapters and I titled it wrong, but I basically made this mistake because I believe it's Black Clover that's in the 200s in chapter releases, and I got confused. But yeah, we're in chapter 149, so without further ado, let's get into this review. So, chapter 149. Now, this chapter didn't necessarily have the whole action-packed sequences that we're normally used to with solo leveling, but it does something really interesting. It dumps a lot of information, and it sets up a nice little cliffhanger that makes you really think. So I was under the original impression, based on the notes that we've been given by the author and the storyteller, that the other four, national class hunters were the only ones that were given the power from the rulers. The end of this chapter tells me otherwise. And that we'll get to at that point. So let's kind of go through the kind of key things with this. So the first thing is the whole Liu Zhugeng thing. Now Liu Zhugeng essentially doesn't want to fight the guy. And first I thought it might be bravado, kind of, speaking offhandedly, but yeah, apparently doesn't want to fight him. Maybe because he knows how powerful he is, or maybe it's like I always think, especially with the whole Thomas Andre thing, if you kill one of the strongest people, that's strength lost from the world that can be used to save the world. So it might be that he's kind of thinking that far ahead and thinking that this is a great power and we need it to help save humanity. So that in itself is a good thing. Then there's a few of the things that happens. We see Mr. White and they go to see a lovely lady who can increase your powers by 30%. And she basically says to him, I keep having these dreams of these hunters getting killed, by whom she doesn't know. And then she wants Sun Jin Woo to help, but Sun Jin Woo's like, look, I don't even know who I'm fighting right now. And she mentioned something very specifically. She goes, I looked inside you and it spoke back, and it said, leave or be gone, and prepare for war. A war between the rulers and the monarchs. Now this translation kind of messes up the wording, but from what I've been spoiled and what I've kind of read, it's rulers and monarchs, or monarchs and rulers. Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? We don't really know. He's a monarch, but technically he's the good guy. Are the monarchs bad? They're killing vessels for rulers. Are the rulers bad? We don't know, but there's a war going on with these two factions, and the rulers captured the king of the giants, and he was a monarch. So, funny translations aside, war is coming, and he perfectly pictures those two groups of individuals to set this up. So he asks for the list and he's looking through it, and what I really liked about the list is they mentioned something called Hunter Points. It shows you the rankings of the top 5. Now bearing in mind that so while I'm looking at this, the top 5 had Christopher Reed in there, who is now dead, and number 6 apparently has gone missing as well. And it says, he asked the question, oh, where would I be placed? Based on ranking alone, he'd be placed 3rd or 4th. So he would be placed either just above Siddharth Bachchan or just below him, which means Thomas Andre and Liu Zhugeng, in terms of points, are quite high up. They've done quite a lot. In terms of strength, we now know that Thomas Andre isn't comparable to our Sun Jin Woo. That being said, we see Thomas Andre, and he essentially asks the question, why didn't you kill me? And Sun Jin Woo responds, you didn't commit a sin to be worth killing. It wasn't capital punishment. The only person that died from the whole guild was Dong Su, and we don't even really know if he went out of his way to kill him, or was it he just got battered and he died in the process. We don't really know that. But it's made clear that look, he's gonna have a funeral. Why don't you come? And they arrange contact details, and it turns out Thomas Andre is kind of shy. He's got a lot of bravado, and essentially he owes Jin Woo, and it's a returning the favor. And he says, "I could do with some useful daggers." Now this, prior to this even happening, I was unfortunately spoiled by a friend, much of a friend I know, but they told me that these daggers are going to be something else. He didn't tell me the ranking, he didn't tell me the name, he doesn't tell me where they come from. He just said there's going to be daggers that he's going to get from somebody else powerful, and they're going to be somewhat special. So I'm guessing the somewhat powerful guy was Thomas Andre, and the daggers that he's mentioning now are going to be somewhat powerful. Unless he meets somebody else, I don't know. But I'm guessing this is where it's going to be, and it's going to be somewhat special. He hasn't told me how far special, but he hasn't told me a ranking. But apparently this is a big deal. So look out for that. I don't know as much more. I did not want to spoil myself any further than that. But that's how much I know about that. We obviously have more discussion, and there's also other stuff going on, and then we find out number 6 is missing, and they're trying to find him. So he seems like he's been snuffed as well, and that's why it's important. The first 4 or 5, including Christopher Reed, I believe to be vessels for rulers. Just them 5 because they were national class. By the sounds of it, 6 is also probably a vessel for a ruler. It's just that these people probably got more of a blessing, or were able to bring out more of the ruler's essence or abilities. And then the ending where we see the chairman of South Korea coming face to face, which I'm not sure which monarch it is. I think he's the monarch that was in Jeju Island, if I remember correctly. He comes face to face with him, and that's how the chapter ends. Which leads me to believe this: every double awakened hunter, or anyone that's S-class that's somewhat decent, including the girl that Jin Woo has as a love interest, is probably going to get hunted down. That probably also means potentially all the guild masters are going to get hunted as well. But that's kind of what it hints towards. That's going to be interesting. Does that mean that some of these are going to be collateral damage while Jin Woo catches up? I know we know that the monarchs are after them, but he doesn't know that yet. So we're going to have to wait and see. I can only hope that he's got a shadow on this the chairman of the Hunter Association, and he gets there like that and intervenes. But seeing how powerful the monarchs are, and the fact they tend to jump people to do these people over, this isn't looking good for the chairman. That being said, we're going to have to wait till next week. As always, thank you for getting this far. Links will be in the description below. I'll see you next time. I must bid you adieu. Peace.